Brujos that is out in the night. Paying it for it and it don't matter the price. Boom, boom, more than now, here moving so right. Get it shaking tonight, tama todo rulay. If you know me, then you know that I would never deny. Tengo mi terio and I will show you tonight. So the putaria has my future so bright. Bringing it to the light, un foqueo rulay. I said this tape is not for ignorant babosos. Steady rep that 718. Melting pot that done made me famoso. That's from New York City, el verdadero sancocho. Invoco al ongumbale yo. Me monto y me da la hinchazón. Spitting out, keeping.
What's up, Knicks Universe? Welcome back to another episode of the Knicks and Fuego. This is the Knicks pregame report. I'm your guy, Hector, joined by my compañeras tonight. I got Karla and I got the lovely Nikki. Ladies, how are you feeling?
Hey, I'm good. It's cold as hell. Hate this winter stuff, but whatever. We're good. We're here, living.
It's snowing over here. I don't know if it's snowing where you at, but we got snow.
Oh, God.
It's funny.
We already
Actually,
got it.
I just got mentioned. My mom got home just a few ago, and she's like, it's starting to snow a little. I'm like, can we not?
It's that Christmas feeling.
Yeah, well, the Christmas feeling can stay over there because I'm not trying to deal with the cold. I'm not trying to deal with the snow. I woke up yesterday and it was like 26 degrees. I was like, when did that happen? It was like 60 degrees a couple of days ago. But anywho, it's cold in New York, but the Knicks are still playing. We're playing good. We came back off of a West Coast road trip. It was a little rocky. Right, low games. Some games we lost, some games we won. It was still a good time. So I'll throw it over to Karla first. Karla's, give her your take when it comes to this prior road trip. We're back home. We put the spanking on the last team we faced. But what's your thoughts overall?
So I'll be completely honest. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've seen each and every game. It was holidays. I was upstate with my fam, but I did catch highlights. I think we could do better. Especially, let me just get right into it, just real quick, a little bit. Bridges. I guess he heard my take about him, so he showed up, which I'm glad. I do feel like we could do better. I definitely feel though this game tonight, we need to make a statement. That's what I feel, definitely. The rest, I mean, I think everybody's doing good, especially Jalen and Kat. They're still holding up the par, which is good. Bridges, what he did. In Sunday's game, right? Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Sunday's game. Listen, he needs to keep doing that. Do that tonight.
No, 100%. Nikki, what's your thoughts as well? Folks in the chat, let us know. Smack the like button, hit the subscribe as well. Go ahead, Nikki.
When it comes to the last couple games, Bridges is getting his mojo back. In regards to Jalen, with his award, I think he got player of the month for October and November. So if you were to look on Knicks Twitter, you wouldn't think he was even qualified for that award with the way he was getting smashed. The Dallas game, I think a lot of people had a lot of frustration when it came to that game. When the way I look at, we always played ugly in Dallas. This isn't something new. I don't know why we always have that nasty stink when it comes to Dallas. Hopefully now we can get our footing. The last 2 years, last year when we got OG and the year before when we got Josh, this is when we made our mark in December. So hopefully that can apply to this year. And now that we got this big game tonight, hopefully we'll be able to stay with the home court advantage and win it.
Yeah, no, and that's a big point, because when you look at Mikal Bridges, a lot of Knicks fans, they always criticize when he has a bad game. They like to bring up the fact that we traded 4 or 5 first-round draft picks for Mikal Bridges. But whenever he has a good game and whenever he impacts the team, we understand new scenery. Right, new team. Even though he was traded from the Brooklyn Nets, he still has to figure out how he can play next to Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, and you throw in OG Anunoby in that mix as well. But if you look at the highlights that are on the screen, Mikal Bridges, that was his best game as a Knick. He was more confident as well. On the season, when you look at, he's averaging 16 points a game. But Knicks Muse pointed it out at MSG at home this season. Mikal Bridges is averaging 20.6 points per game. His field goal percentage is over 50%, and you saw it in the last game against the Pelicans. Mikal Bridges, he came out defensively and offensively as well, and that's something that this Knicks team is going to win, because when you look at it, when you compare this team from now to last year, December 3rd last year, the only person that's in the starting lineup now from last year is Jalen Brunson. Everybody else is different. There's no RJ Barrett. There's no Julius Randle. Mitchell Robinson is still injured, right? So this entire starting lineup is different outside of Jalen Brunson, and you have to give the team some time to figure it out and mesh when it comes to chemistry. We're 12 games into the season. We're 12-8, and like Nikki pointed out, if you go on Knicks Twitter, you would think that we're like 5-10, or you would think we're 5-17 or something like that. So regardless, Knicks Twitter, calm down. Relax. It is the start of the season. I'm going to shout out some folks in the chat. Shout out my guy Guillermo in the building. Legion of Knicks podcast. How you doing? Salute, salute, salute. 3 capital S's like Jay Boogie always says. Shout out to all the $4.99 super chat. Let's go, Knicks. Omar, appreciate you helping us keep the lights on over here. Nostalgic Nick is in the building as well. Our friend Shanti is in the building. Jonathan is in the building. Our guy I-95 Bullies in the building. What it do? Salute, salute, salute. And like always, we got to highlight the guidelines for the chat. No hate speech or bullying is allowed. If you violate the terms of service when it comes to YouTube or the chat, you will be ejected. Basically, don't be mean. We're trying to have a good conversation when it comes to the Knicks and when it comes to our squad. So, we got a game that's later on today, right? Before we get into any other topics, I know we're going to talk about Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims. Let's highlight the game later on today. It's the New York Knicks versus the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic so far, they have the best defense we could say in the league as of right now. And I think this is a good test to see where we're at with this team. Like you pointed it out, in Dallas, we look sloppy. But so far, overall, our offense has been clicking. And I've never seen a Tom Thibodeau team which offense looked as good as what it is right now. I think our defense will catch up once they start to figure it out. But the offense is leading our team. And it's weird to say that when it comes to a Tom Thibodeau team. But Nikki, I'll throw it over to you. Give us your take when it comes to the game tonight and overall for the season, offensively and defensively with the squad.
Offensively, this has been, like you said, some of the best offense we've seen in years when it comes to Tibbs. I'm used to seeing the low hundreds, high 90s. The fact that we hit 140 one game, I think that might be one for the record books, even close to it. I think now with the ball movement getting better, most likely we'll be able to see that. It's a Thibodeau team, so the defense, of course, is going to come. Everything takes time. Right now, we're on that climb of the roller coaster where we're going up. So hopefully we keep going up. We hit the peak, then we could go. Again, it's that time of the year when everything starts to mesh and we get everything together. When it comes to the game tonight versus Orlando, though, like you said, they're number one with the defense, but a lot of people are talking about Blanchero not being in the game. My concern is the 2 Wagners. For some reason, whenever we play Orlando, these 2 suckers like to bite us in the ass and come out and play like it's they're in the All-Star game. So with the defense, I'm not sure who Tibbs will match up with them. Maybe you put Deuce. Maybe Mikal, OG on one of them, but you already know for some reason they get hot against us. So we need to maintain them, especially with Blanchero being out, and let someone else run the show in the Garden tonight.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that mess about Pablo being out. You saw what happened against the Hornets, right? If Lonzo Ball is in that game, we lose. And you saw what happened against Dallas. No Luka, and we still lost that game against the Mavericks. So go ahead, Karla. What's your thoughts on tonight's game and just the overall convo?
Tonight's game, I feel like it's a must win. I feel like that's going to set the tone for the month of December. I'm not saying either, even if we lose, God forbid, let's not hope that we lose, and that's gonna, that sets the tone too. But I feel like it just gives our team a little bit more confidence. Like, look, now we get to advance into the next round. Now we in Vegas. Now you get me. Like, I just feel that this team, once we win tonight, that's it. Like, this team is gonna be like, all right, this is now where we headed. We know what to do. Like, I just feel they'll feel more confident. So definitely, it's a must win. I feel like whoever, again, like I keep saying, for every night, for every game, whoever is hot at the moment, let them be hot. I don't want anybody, none of these players to force it. If you know you're not hot tonight, leave it alone. Give it to the next player who is hot, and let's keep it like that. Overall, for the season, I feel December, like Nikki said, going to December, January is the 2 months that right now, this is how we're gonna know, is this team any good? Are we gonna be good? Can we see a playoff, or are we not? Especially now that, who is it that's coming back?
Precious Achiuwa.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I call Precious, and then who knows when Mitch is supposed to
Hmm.
come back. Now I feel once they come back, it's gonna be a big okay, let's see how this go.
Yeah.
Depending for what games they come back and all that good stuff. Let's see how everybody now, since the full team will be coming back.
Hmm.
Now let's see how everybody's gonna click.
Yeah.
Is again now, but I also hate the fact that it's gonna feel like, damn, now again we gotta see who goes with who,
Mhm.
what's gonna work for who, and it's just like, obviously there's gonna be some games we're gonna lose because we now we gotta figure out with everybody. But
Hmm.
I hope we could figure out. We already gotta figure out. We're starting there. We're getting there. So I hope when they come back, like it doesn't take as long to figure out. Like, okay, this matchup is good. This goes with this person, and all that good stuff. So fingers crossed that nothing break us, especially tonight's game and where everybody else comes back. That it doesn't break us. It doesn't set us back. I
Yeah.
definitely don't want that.
Yeah, no, and to echo the point that you made at the beginning of your statement, that tonight is a big game, right? Regardless of it's the in-season tournament. When you look at the standings, right? The Orlando Magic, they're third in the Eastern Conference. They have a 15-7 record on the season. The New York Knicks are fourth. They're 12-8, right? So
Mhm.
take out the mid-season tournament. This is still battling a division rival, right? When it comes to the Eastern Conference, not an Atlantic Division, but in the Eastern Conference, right? We're battling for seeding in the East, right? These games matter in December when we get further down, when we get towards the end of the season, in March when we're trying to line up where we are in the postseason, whether it's the first, second, third, or fourth seed. So this game is super important tonight. And when you look at the Orlando Magic, I brought up the point that they are operating as the number one defense in the NBA. So the New York Knicks, this is a test. This is a litmus test to see how is this team going to operate when we do get healthy, to Karla's point. And I think that's going to be important. And talking about Precious Achiuwa, it was brought up that Precious Achiuwa should be ready to come back within the next week or so, right? Week and a half to 2 weeks for Precious Achiuwa. And I think when Precious Achiuwa comes back, when Mitchell Robinson comes back, I see a lot of people talking about who's going to lose minutes off the bench, and I don't think it's going to be necessarily players off the bench losing minutes. I think the players that will lose minutes will be like the OG Anunobys or Carl
Mhm.
Anthony Times or the Mikal Bridges, because they're playing crazy minutes right now. They have a heavy load on the season. So I think when Precious Achiuwa's come back is going to be interesting to see the lineups that Tom Thibodeau uses out there, because with the way that Jericho Sims has been playing, he's been phenomenal. We'll get to Jericho Sims, but talking about Precious Achiuwa and talking about the possible rotations, Karla, where do you want Tom Thibodeau to go with Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa potentially coming back soon?
Well, we already know how I feel about Mitch. Um, End of the day, look, Mitch, I low key do want him in the starting five. I wouldn't want him to be coming out the bench. I do feel
Mhm.
like Precious should be coming out the bench. Obviously, again, we got to see what works with what. Me personally, for Precious, definitely, I feel like that's somebody we do need coming out of the bench. I don't think we should put him in the starting five. I Just me again personally. I just think he does a lot better, more for us.
Mhm.
Again, I mean, hey, look, if he comes off the bench, he's giving us points and he's doing what he has to do, and Tiff feels like putting him in the starting five. Sure, I'm okay with that as long as he's being consistent and
Yeah.
he's actually doing something. Because don't put him in the starting five and he's not doing much, but you're noticing that off the bench he's actually doing something. You
Mhm.
get me? Because we also still got to think about the bench. Like, okay, like who's coming out? You get me? Like,
Mhm.
we can't. Mitch, I don't know about coming off the bench. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't even know about him being on the team, but whatever. I think I'm just so used to seeing Mitch just being a starting five, and
Yeah.
I personally don't. I don't know. I think maybe Mitch might feel type of way being a bench. I don't know. Could just for the
Mhm.
fact I'm not here trying to remember quick in my head like if I've ever seen him come off the bench.
Well,
And
when he first started in his career, yeah,
well,
he came
yeah,
off
Yeah.
the bench,
but
but
I mean
most
like
recently he's
now,
used, yeah, ever since he got that contract, he's used to being a starter, right?
right?
So if he does see this, at least he knows that you love him a lot, you know.
Right. I mean, yeah, whatever. I guess. No, but I mean, either way, I still feel like it just all depends who's doing what. Listen,
Mhm.
if Mitch is showing out, let's leave him in the starting five. If he's not and Precious the one showing out, why not? Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
I
Again,
just
it's so
think that I just think that the rotation, and I'll throw it over to Nikki to get her take. I think it just looks so good offensively with Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. The way that he
Right.
spreads the court, the way that he opens it up, it allows Jalen Brunson to operate the one-on-one at the top of the key a lot easier. But if you have Mitchell Robinson in there, it clogs up the paint. And it makes it hard for Jalen Brunson to get those easy baskets at the rim. When you look at this team over the past couple of weeks, the cuts, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, they're able to cut and they're able to find easy baskets. The way that Josh Hart has been performing, if Josh Hart can just be average from the 3-point line, that's the key to this. That's the key to the Knicks offense. If Josh Hart can be a reliable, can be a threat from the 3-point line, it just opens up and makes the offense so much better. But I think when Precious Achiuwa does come back, or when Mitchell Robinson does come back, we could potentially see some lineups with, if Josh Hart is on the bench, Precious Achiuwa is out there with Karl Anthony Towns, right? Or vice versa. Mitchell Robinson could be out there with Karl Anthony Towns. It's just going to be interesting to see how Tom Thibodeau navigates it. What's your thoughts, Nikki?
The way I see it, when it comes to getting those players back, it gives Tibbs more flexibility. What's up, Billy?
Billy, what's good?
More flexibility. I know when they asked Tibbs about Precious, they mentioned the combo of Cat and Sims on the court on the same time. Which to me, it gives you more flexibility, it gives you more options. But when you have Mitch in the game, it seems like the ball stops. The ball movement stops. It doesn't flow the way it used to. Even when you look last year with iHeart, the way he would pass when you give putting Cat on the bench, it's like what you call it, a plug. It's not going to flow. So unless he works on that, who knows? Because Mitch and his videos of him in the gym, we don't know what he's really working on or if it's a joke. You don't know. So I'm like, let's see what happens when he comes back. I would like him on a minutes restriction on Embiid style to say, with all his injuries, let's save him for the games we need him, for the matchups that we need him. He's not necessary all the time, but definitely I think he needs to go on the bench. And Sims and Cat is a matchup I want to see together. Let's see if it gives Sims more confidence, if it gives him more chances for those alley oops and those dunks, especially the way Cat passes. So again, that might be an option Tibbs might actually consider.
Talking about Jericho Sims, right? I'll throw it right back at you, Nikki, because the last time we talked on the show, you brought up Jericho Sims and his confidence, and you've seen it over the past week and a half to 2 weeks. Jericho Sims on the season, right at the rim, I think he's giving up 33.3% when it comes to the field goal percentage at the rim, and that's from a backup center. So even though Mitchell Robinson is coming back, Jericho Sims, he has warranted minutes off the bench. He has earned that with his play over the past 2 weeks. So it's going to be tough for Mitchell Robinson to get some minutes from Jericho Sims. But if we do get Mitchell Robinson coming back, right, the potential of a Mitchell Robinson or a Jericho Sims as a backup center, it is a good thing to have, or a good problem to have. But talking about Jericho Sims, Nikki, I'll throw it over to you and lead the convo when it comes to Sims, and throw it back over to Karla.
Actually, what you were just saying in regards to options in the center position, saying that today compared to where we were in the beginning of October, where we thought we had no options in the center position, because if you look at it, you got Cat, you got Jericho, you got Huck Porty. Then now you're going to bring Mitch back. The center position doesn't look as weak as everybody thought right before the season started. We were desperate. We had no clue what we were going to do in that position. So now that we got options and we know what their pros and cons are, I think it'll be good. I'm just hoping Sims keeps on the same role that he's doing. If he could keep with that confidence, get more points down low, even if it's some more free throws, to boost his confidence even more, so he feels amped to go to the hoop stronger. It's going to help everybody in the team overall.
Yeah, I just want to take a few seconds real quick. I'm going to throw it over to Karla, but if you guys can, please smack that like button. We got over 90 people watching us collectively across all platforms. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, click the link in the bio, jump on over to YouTube. We got over 30 people in the chat on YouTube. If you guys can, smack the like button and hit the subscribe button. Karla, how do you feel about Jericho Sims, aka the man with the fro? As somebody who doesn't have hair, I'm a bit jealous of Jericho Sims. Go ahead, Karla.
No, yeah, like Nikki has said it, and it's true. Ever since we spoke about it last time, Nikki had mentioned it. Yo, his confidence is has gotten a lot better, and I think that's all it really is for him. Is just that confident and to know that he's making the shots. Because I mean, let's be for real. If you know you're not making shots, you as a player, you're gonna be like, damn, I'm not making it.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
you're gonna start forcing them. Him clearly, look, his confidence there, and I think that's the main thing. His confidence to get there. If he keeps playing the way he is playing, listen, I won't be as nervous or talking shit like I was in the beginning of the season, where I was just like, why is Sim on this court? Why is Sim
Hmm.
on this team to begin with? Like, especially with
Mm-hmm.
seeing him on the court, it's to be like, yo, sit this kid back down, because what is he doing? But
Hmm.
now it's just, oh, Sim's on a, okay, that's fine. Like, I can't say nothing bad, because he's been showing up. Instead of going down or up inconsistent, he's been consistent. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad. I need him to keep up the work. I also think I definitely want to see him. I personally think I'm like all over the place right now. I do. I forgot who mentioned it. Was it you, Nikki? I think it was you, Nikki, or maybe you had there about seeing a Sims and Cat together.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do. I'm very, very. I've been saying that for wondering. I shouldn't be saying it. I've been wondering for the longest how that would go.
Mm.
That would go. And I think Cat might actually give him more confidence
Hmm.
Yeah.
to
No,
be able to
I,
get him to do those plays. I really think,
I,
and I
I,
feel like once we see that happening, and his sim goes off, oh my god, I'll be so
mm.
happy.
Yeah,
I'll be
I
so
think
happy.
it's kudos to the coaching staff, right? Tom Thibodeau, he
Hmm.
has been known
Of
to be
course.
like the big man whisperer, right? And when you look at one of the big acquisition this offseason for the Knicks, it was bringing back Patrick Ewing, right, to be a
Hmm.
part of the coaching staff to help the big man.
Right.
So when you have Patrick Ewing helping out Carl Anthony Towns, helping out Jericho Sims, helping out Hawk Purdy, a lot of Knicks fans were screaming for Hawk Purdy to be the backup center, but the way
Hmm.
Jericho Sims has been playing, Hawk Purdy has been riding the bench, and I think having the presence of somebody who's a legend in the game like Patrick Ewing being on that coaching staff, helping the young guys, I think that works wonders. And you see it with Jericho Sims. Some Knicks fans, at the beginning of the season was saying, "What is Jericho Sims like?" Carla said, "What is Jericho Sims even still doing on this team?" Right? He's been in the
Hmm.
league for how many years, and we haven't seen an improvement. We definitely have seen an improvement in Jericho Sims over the past few days, right? I want to highlight some chats real quick before we continue. Shout out to my guy Jacob. Jacob said Hex looked like he about to go walking into a blizzard. Bro, it is cold outside.
It's
It feels like
cold,
was
yeah.
Hmm.
that Jake Gyllenhaal movie, the Day After Tomorrow, where like the
Yeah.
snow covers New
Yo,
York City. That's what it feels like right now. I feel it coming through my window. But no, I want to give some flowers to Tom Thibodeau,
Amen.
right? At 20 games into the season. We talked about it last time on the show, but when it comes to Tom Thibodeau, this Knick team, especially since over the past 25 years, we've rarely had consistency, right? And ever since Leon Rose took over, and ever since Tom Thibodeau became our head coach, we have finally have a level of consistency that we've never seen with the New York Knicks. I know in my lifetime, right? I know some fans from the 90s, they could contest of some great Knicks teams. I was too young to enjoy that. But when you see Tom Thibodeau being named the Eastern Conference Coach of the Month, shout out to Tom Thibodeau for that. But it's not just that, it's just changing the culture with the team. And I know we talked about at the beginning of the show the offense and the defense, and we understand that it takes some guys to adjust. We do got guys coming back off of injury like Precious and Mitch that will help us out defensively. But I think when it comes to this team, we have to give some kudos to the upper management, and I want to start with Tom Thibodeau. Carla, I'll throw it over to you to give us your take. Bully with the $4.99 super chat says, "Keep on cooking." Appreciate you, Bully. Go ahead, Carla.
appreciate you, bully. Yeah, listen, I've honestly never understood Tom hate. Like, I
Hmm.
get it. I get the whole sometimes he's stuck in his ways and he wants to keep doing the same thing over and over, even though there's no result. But let's be for real. Somebody's not gonna keep doing that if they don't feel like, yo, damn, it's really not gonna work. You get me? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yeah, it's been time it hasn't worked, but it's just I've never understood the hate, especially, oh, let's fire him. Let's fire for what?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he's been the only other coach with the Knicks that look how far he's gotten this team. You get me? And then with the players too. I mean, listen, I get it. Yeah, the players are not gonna sit here and talk crap about their coach, especially if he's bad or anything out to the public. But it's just like I feel like body language, how the game is being played. You're gonna notice that if if he was as bad as Nick's Twitter says how he is,
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure there you got me. You're gonna see within the players that it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
there's something happening. You got me. I'm pretty sure fights would have been happening. Like, so I've never understood this hate. I don't know. I want to keep him. Let's listen. I'm happy right now. Well, Uncle Tibbs.
Yeah.
I can't complain. Like, I've since what I think I said this since last season or 2 seasons ago. I'm like, yo, that's Uncle Tibbs. Like, I don't know how y'all all hate
Hmm.
this man. Say, like, again, yeah, I could be frustrated, but you gonna tell me we're the only team that, with the coach that does the same thing? I'm pretty sure all these other teams that we just don't follow, we don't know about, obviously, because we
Hmm.
Hmm.
Mets fans. You hear me? Knicks fans, we just never hear about it. But I'm pretty sure there'd be worse things over there happening.
Hmm.
And y'all not about to sit here and talk about Uncle Tibbs like this. Like, come on. Look,
Yeah.
coach of the month. And y'all
Coach of the
want to talk,
month.
like, y'all want to talk shit
Exactly.
about, like, I mean, come on. Somebody's like, the whole world can't say the same thing about you. You get me? And it'd be a lie when, look, obviously, look, he's being coach of the month. Look how far he's taking his team.
Yeah.
Somebody, like, I get it. Yeah, I could feel type of way, but let's be for real. The way
Yeah.
how he came back with his team and how this play, like, just even the players alone is like, it feels like
Yeah.
family. Like, I love this team. That, I'm like, oh,
You could
yeah,
you
they
could
look
you could
cute.
tell the players respect Tom Thibodeau. You could tell the
Right,
players they're ride and die for especially the players we have now, right? I know that we had players that weren't Tom Thibodeau's favorite and they rode the bench and they felt whatever in their feelings. I
right,
think now we finally got some guys that Tom Thibodeau really respects and really rides. We saw
right,
when they try to bring in Kemba Walker and Evan Fournier, those aren't the type of players that Tom Thibodeau likes, and he sat them on the
Hmm.
bench and he went with the guys that he liked. Now he finally has some players that are super talented, players that he could trust, go out there, hustle guys, and are team first guys. And I think that right there, the players with Tom Thibodeau is the reason why we're having success. What's your thoughts on that, Nikki?
Something I learned this weekend on Twitter, and I got to give Billy the credit, is the
Shout out to
coaching
Billy.
tree. The coaching tree. So if you were to
oh
look
my
at
god,
coaching trees,
I
as much
saw
as,
that.
yeah, Tibbs doesn't have one, the coaching trees he's been a part of, though. He was there with Jeff Van Gundy. He's
Hmm.
seen there the mentality, the people he learned off of. Then we're talking about one accolade. This isn't the only accolade the man has won under this tenure as a niche coach. He
Hmm.
won, I think, was it coach of the year or something a couple years ago? I
Yeah,
know he
well,
won some. Yeah,
yeah, he
so
won Coach of the Year.
this isn't new to Tibbs at all. So the fact that the players he has are in the same mindset as him, even
Hmm.
having Rick who defends him. I don't know if you saw the roommates podcast.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
man rides for his boss. He goes for
Right,
Tibbs. So
that's his
right
guy.
now, I can't hate. I can't hate at all. Then the same respect because now the Knicks as a organization, you got Larry Johnson back. You got
Mhm.
Patrick Ewing back. These are people that worked under him as the assistant coach. They were players when he was there. So they all speak the same basketball lingo. So
right,
Mhm.
it's only going to get better when you have everybody within the same language and the same mindset. So
Yeah.
right now, when it comes to Tibbs, I know if it was up to Nick's Twitter, we would have blew the whole front office up and the team
oh,
October
seriously.
1st. It would have
Yeah.
been done. So and again, who are you going to replace this man with? I know a lot
Right,
of people are saying the coach in Denver, he ain't leaving Denver with those team the players
Mhm.
he has there. What's the sense? It's still fresh. So I say rock with him until he gives you a reason not to.
Yeah.
Clearly, we're the only one stuck in this mind frame that Theo Tibbs is goofing up. Honestly, keep doing your thing. He is a center maker. He
Mm.
got I Heart the bag. He got
Yes.
Nerlens Noel the bag. Who knows
Yes.
what he's gonna do with Sims? And he's a really
right.
working cat to the way that he wants him to play. In Tibbs, we trust. What you're gonna say?
Yeah, and like you said, Theo Tibbs. Shout out to Theo
Hmm.
Tibbs and shout out to I-95 Bully with the 4.99 super chat who says if Tom Thibodeau wins a chip, he is the Tom Coughlin of the New York Knicks. And I'm gonna leave that right there, right? Just to piggyback off of it. When you look at Tom Thibodeau, when you look at Leon Rose, this is their dream job, right?
Hmm.
They grew up Knick fans. They grew up wanting to be a part of the Knicks or be a part of that Knick team that wins a championship. There's a reason why Knick fans that are older than us that were around when the Knicks won a championship, there's a reason why they idolize Walt Kai Frazier. They idolize Dave DeBusschere. They idolize Willis Reed because they remember that team winning a championship. Whatever team it is to win a championship for the New York Knicks, to break that curse over 50 years, whether it be this squad right now, they're going to go down as legends in New York City. Josh Hart will be remembered for years, not only because he's a funny bastard, because he's funny as hell, but he will be a part of that team that wins a championship. And when you see this team and when you see how much they like each other, how much they joke around with each other, and then when you look at OG Anunoby, you never know what he's thinking, right? He is so like he is so unfazed, but he is so funny too. He's hilarious
without trying to be funny. That's the funny part. Like, yo, this man is just funny.
And I was gonna say, and to hop on Billy's point about the coaching tree, right? A lot of people talk about the coaching tree in San Antonio, right? With Greg Popovich. And shout out to Greg Popovich. He is a Hall of Fame coach, legend coach. Probably, you know, when it comes to the coaches that are alive and still coaching right now, probably the best coach that's out there. But when you look at the coaching tree that came from Pat Riley and that 90s Knick era, that's where Tom Thibodeau comes from. And that's why Knick fans can relate to the teams that we've had over the past few years, because they've been defense. This is the first time we had a team that the offense has been better than the defense. My fault, Nikki. Go ahead.
The way I look at it, let's just say we trade Tibbs, and within like the next year or two, we get the ring. It's gonna look the same way people were looking at Golden State. Steve Kerr ain't do that. Mark Jackson did that. You put the foundation. He just took it and ran with it, pressed the B and C buttons on the remote and got it to work. This will be still credit on Tibbs, whether he's here or not. You laid the foundation. You got the pieces here. Maybe you couldn't get it over the hump, but the way they give you like an honorary ring, the man will still get his due and should get one because he created this. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now but yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I see that take. But with all due respect to Mark Jackson, and I mean this with all the respect I can, the job that Tom Thibodeau has done with the players that he has got. Like when you look at that Golden State Warriors team, they had young players that were on the rise, lottery picks, right? I know Draymond Green was outside the lottery. When you look at Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, those were lottery players, right? And then you throw in Andre Iguodala when they signed him, when they acquired him. But when you look at Jalen Brunson, right, who was a second round pick, tossed to the side. No one wanted Jalen Brunson. We look at OG Anunoby, was a player that a lot of that the Raptors drafted, and a lot of people thought that he was going to be this big time superstar. Never became that offensive superstar, but defensively was solid. He came over to the Knicks. OG Anunoby is having probably the best offensive start to a season of his career. I know he's been quiet over the past few games, but offensively, he has been solid this year. Mikal Bridges defensively. Josh Hart, the way that Josh Hart has elevated. Josh Hart is a 6'4" guard who is second in the league when it comes to rebounding. He's 6'4". That's not supposed to happen. And those are little points to show you that the players that are on the team, the style that is on the team is just a different flavor that they're cooking with in Madison Square Garden.
But that's what I'm saying. Going back to what I said earlier, like I feel like if this wasn't working out and the players honestly didn't like how Tibbs is coaching or playing them, I feel like we would have been seeing that. You get me? Like I don't think the players would be how they are right now. Like we wouldn't feel like, oh my God, or like the team feels like a family. You get me? Like how they act with each other, how they fool around with each other. I feel like we would see something totally different. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't put it past me that, there's a game that we're losing. And if they didn't really like how the coach, like if they honestly didn't like how the coach was doing so, I'm pretty sure we would have seen some bickering. It's gonna, especially with our team, the guys that we have, we was bound to see it. You know, so it's like, I don't know. Everybody that talks shit, I get it. Yeah, we're not gonna have the perfect season. Every game is not gonna be perfect. Hey, sometimes we don't show up. Sometimes the other team shows up. I mean, it is what it is. But you're gonna say, "Yo, this is the coach's fault each and every time."
You
No,
can't.
it's a team. Like
Yeah.
it's from the coach to the players to everybody else. So if we lose, obviously there was lack somewhere.
Hmm.
It could be from anywhere, from even a player, it could be just the players alone. But the coach himself, listen, the way he's been doing. Again, I wanted to ask this question. Okay, for everybody who talks about, oh, they always want to trade, fire Tibbs, but who are we gonna get in then? Like,
Hmm.
in your idea, like,
Mm-hmm.
who is the coach that you feel for this team? Not because, yeah, the next coach you get, oh, because he was with the Warriors, he did that. Does that mean he could do that here with us?
Right.
This is different players. He knows his
Mm-hmm.
players over there. For whatever team he came, he knows his players. Can he do that here? And
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
this would be brand new players. He's not bringing players with him. Like
Mm-hmm.
how we was talking just earlier about Tibbs. He built up this team. So whoever in 2 and 3 years, if he leaves and we get it, but this team's already been built.
Yeah.
They already know what's up. So if we get that chip, yeah, it was kind of thanks to Tibbs in a sense.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's always been my biggest thing. It's like, damn, if you guys want to trade, who we getting then as a coach? Like, who is ideally to be a coach?
And
But
that's a fair question, because you
Mhm.
never know how different players are going to react or act with different coaches. Perfect
Right,
example, and I throw it over to Nikki. When you look at the Brooklyn Nets, right? Kenny Atkinson, he helped create and lay down a good foundation, nice
hmm
young players, nice young pieces, and then they get Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and then it's a whole shit show. Then the coach gets
right,
fired. You got to bring in different coaches. Young players get traded away, and it's not the same thing. You lose what helped made you attractive, and what helped
right.
made you attractive is the solid coaching foundation. I'm sorry, Nikki. I know you wanted to jump in there. Go ahead.
no problem. One thing that us Knicks fans need to realize is that we are one of the most logical, knowledgeable fan bases within the league. Let's just be real. When it
Mhm.
comes to the stuff that we say, the media tends to go and run with it. Because I remember last year and all these injuries, everybody was trying to say it was Tibbs, the way he runs players into the ground, the restrictions, to the point that we said it so much during the season, it went into the playoffs that you had
Mhm.
ESPN and everybody else saying it. You need to realize some of these injuries were not Thibodeau's fault. You can't blame
Right,
Tibbs for the whole Julius freak shoulder.
No.
You can't blame him
right,
for the OG. Then the fact that the media runs with it and tries to make it seem that he just runs his players into the ground, i.e., the whole Derrick Rose situation, none of it compares. None of it
Mhm.
compares at all. Look, you need to realize the man was working with what he had at that moment. If you're sitting there and you're at work and you're short staffed, your manager's going to bust your butt to make sure the job gets
That's
done.
a
We
fact.
all worked somewhere where the company was short staffed. Let's be honest. The
right.
Knicks were short staffed. It is
Yeah.
what it is. So right now, when it comes to what he's working with, the man got a lot more options than what he had last year. And right
Mhm.
now, the way I see it, he's playing with his options, because I like to call him Private Ryan. Matt Ryan comes every once in a blue moon and he starts getting his minutes. And I know Kolek, they're trying to get him on the court. If it's not
Mhm.
necessary to put him on, I wouldn't. Why would you put Kolek when you got Campaign, and Campaign has been
Yeah.
impactful when he hits the court? So you can't be mad at the man. The way I see it, I said this last year about Julius. If you don't like him, just say you don't like him. But don't
Yeah.
let your opinion on the player or the coach impact your actual basketball take. If you don't like somebody, just say it.
Just don't beat around the bush. Just stand on
Right.
business, right? And
Right.
and that's what it comes down to. Some people, they like to play the mental gymnastics to justify
Mm-hmm.
a certain take that they have, instead of just getting right to the point and just say that you don't like XY player or you don't like
Mhm.
XY coach, right? When you look at
Mm-hmm.
Tom Thibodeau, did I have when Tom Thibodeau first got hired? Did I have some reservations about Tom Thibodeau? Did I have some critiques on Tom Thibodeau? Absolutely, right?
I
Carla and
think we
Nikki, you
all
guys
did.
both exactly. We all said it, right? When it comes to end game decision, when it comes to not trusting your younger players, when it comes to not giving certain players a certain opportunity, maybe those players didn't deserve it, right? I know a lot of us, we wanted to see Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett become a dynamic duo. That ain't
Right.
happened because Cam
Mm-hmm.
Reddish didn't put that effort in and practice, right? So when you're a coach, and like Nikki said, you're playing with short staff, he rather go with the guys that he trusts, that he knows are going
Mm-hmm.
to give 150% of effort, instead of guys like a Cam Reddish that is not going to go out there and give you all the effort in the world. He wants to win games, and he wants to put the team in a better position to win the game. And if he has to exert extra players because some players are lazy, I'm all for it. I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a New Yorker. I think we're all for it. We want guys to go out there and to compete and to be competitive. Do we want to see our team win? Absolutely. But at the same time, if you have New York on your chest, if you are representing our team, whether it's basketball, baseball, and football, all we ask for you is to give effort. And I think that's fair to ask. You're an athlete making millions of dollars playing a children's game. Just go out there and give me effort, my guy. That's all I ask.
Right. That's why Josh Hart is the fan favorite. The man jumps and he's throwing his body everywhere and doing everything.
Right.
You can't be mad. That's the way to the New Yorkers' heart. Look at Mason. Look at Oakley. Look at LJ. You had all these people that put literal blood on the court, and they ended up being fan favorite. So that's just the mentality of being a Knicks fan. The way I see it.
Yeah,
it's nothing new.
facts. I want to highlight some chats real quick. Shout out to my guy Bully again, I-95 with the $4.99 super chat, helping us keep the lights on. He says JB is a superstar. He backs Tibbs. Only thing that matters. Absolutely. Billy brings up a great point when it comes to coaches. Monty Williams, Knicks draft pick. He coached Mikal Bridges and Cam on their final team in 2021 with the Phoenix Suns. I think that's a great pick. I am a big fan of Monty Williams as well.
That's actually a good look.
That is a solid one. Solid pick, Billy. Shout out to my guy, Damian Serrano, who is in the building. Damian says, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. Absolutely. We are at 4,476 subscribers on our way to 5K. So help us out by giving us a like, giving us a subscribe button. I want to take a quick second to pause real quick. I'm gonna bring back Bully's super chat, but there's a podcast that was out there, pick a side podcast. I think we all are familiar with them. They had a nice segment talking about Leon Rose and the team. I'm gonna play the video. We'll come back and we'll break this down. So just be right there.
Leon Rose, since he's been in charge, they don't miss.
He's been near perfect.
Leon Rose brought in Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson, nobody thought he was an all-star level player, let alone a superstar player. He comes to the Knicks and he exceeds everybody's expectations, and he's one of the very best point guards in the league. Isaiah Hartenstein, he was a backup with the Clippers. Leon Rose signs him. He becomes one of the better centers in the league to the point OKC offers him a bag.
$30 million annually.
He could be the starting center.
Yep.
Dante DiVincenzo was inconsistent. The Knicks take a chance on him. He has the best season of his career. We look at the draft picks. Deuce McBride, he didn't get an opportunity for a long time. He finally gets one, and he's playing the best basketball of his career. Quentin Grimes was also a hit.
Emmanuel Quickly.
You trade RJ and Emmanuel Quickly for OG Anunoby. OG Anunoby now is playing like an all-star for the Knicks, and then you trade Randall and Dante for Karl Anthony Towns, and Karl Anthony Towns is having the best offensive season of his entire career. Josh Hart is another one. You trade for him at the deadline. He's playing the best basketball of his career with the Knicks. It is a given at this point. When the Knicks make a move for a player, they tend to play the best basketball of their career, no matter how well known or not that they are. If you want to say Mikal Bridges isn't playing the best, I won't push back too much on that. This is one of the very best organizations in basketball.
And no argument there, right? Everything that they said, and also shout out to the guys over at Pick a Side. If you guys can, make sure you guys go follow them on Twitter, give them a retweet. Everything that he just said, spot on. When it comes to Leon Rose, laying the foundation, trusting the process when it comes to Leon Rose. Leon Rose, last year, he said at this time, it was around like April of this year, that after the team didn't make the postseason a couple of seasons ago, we got to trust the process and not panic. And that's what Leon Rose has done ever since getting over here. A couple of seasons ago, before or right when we got Jalen Brunson, there was talks about getting Donovan Mitchell. I was a big fan of Donovan Mitchell. I wanted Donovan Mitchell over here with the Knicks. Utah wanted too much. The Knicks didn't panic. Former Knicks regimes, the Isaiah Thomas days, the Phil Jackson days, they would have panicked and they would have overpaid. Leon Rose is strategic. They call him the Don for a reason, because he's up there brokering all the power moves, and we are trusting the process. And in Leon Rose, I trust. All hail Leon Rose. Karla, what's your thoughts on that? And throw it over to Nikki.
I mean, listen, have we gone wrong? Has this team gone wrong since
Nah.
then? No. So this I love it because it's both for the Knicks and the Mets. Yeah, I panic. Obviously, as a fan, when we don't get a certain player and when things happen, I start panicking. I'm like, damn, that's it, we're done. But then here comes the owners, the coaches. They prove us wrong.
Mhm.
We get as far as we could. I mean, again, just going back to everything, I just feel if it was anybody else, I don't think we would be where we are right now. What
Mhm.
we've been building up, I don't think we would be here. I feel like we will still be trying to figure out where's this team going. What
Mhm.
players are we gonna get? Like me personally, just again, me only, just for the fact what I'm used to in the past years. From being a freaking Knicks fan, what I've seen. So this is the first time in my lifetime that I feel like, yo, in my lifetime, I feel like yes, we're gonna see the Knicks win a chip. Definitely, we are, because since I started seeing the Knicks play and how everything, the different coaches, the different team players, and all this, we've never gotten this
Mm-mm.
Nope.
close at all to a chip. At least that again, like I can remember, never ever. You
Nope.
know, and just the fact that, listen, how old are we now? We get to go to playoffs games and we get to come on. Like
Mhm.
this is everything. It's like I'm being a little kid again. That I'm like, oh my god, I always wanted to do this when I was young. And now look, we actually doing. Like I'm taking my kids to these playoffs games. I'm showing them like, yo, not forget the regular season, but it's like, yo, look, the Knicks in the playoff. Can any other team say this that No, you
No.
know. So it's just like how you said, I'm trusting in Tibbs. I'm Leon. I'm trusting. No, I listen. I could panic. I could talk shit all I want in my head. I could talk to y'all all the shit I want. But I am. I'm learning to trust the process and just
Mhm.
chill and be like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen next. Whatever they do, obviously they thought about it. They're just not doing stuff just to do it. Like, oh, let's just get this player and that's it.
Mhm.
Like again, look, when Cat happened, I'll tell you, I was the first one to be like, nah, I don't like this. I don't even want this guy on my team. Like for what? I don't know. And now look, I'm here to
Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me anything negative
Yeah.
about Cat, this and that. So
Wow.
I'm
Same.
learning to trust and just be like, all right, they added this player, they did this trade. It's for a reason. They thought about it,
Mhm.
obviously. They just didn't sit there and was like, all right, this is the move we're making. That's it.
Mhm.
Facts. Facts. Nikki, what's your thoughts on that? Folks in the chat, let us know as well. What's your thoughts on Leon Rose? Drop the thumbs up on Leon Rose. Nostalgic Nick just put MVP for Carl Anthony Towns.
Mhm.
Listen, that's not a bit off with the way that he's been playing. Go ahead, Nikki.
Right.
The way I look at it, I'm against you guys. I didn't want Donovan Mitchell. He hit me the wrong way. I don't know why. I ain't want him. I ain't want LeBron
Because he's a
all
Mets
those
fan, right?
years.
It's because
I
he's a
was just
Mets
about
fan,
to laugh
right?
because he's
Yeah.
a Mets fan. That's why I wanted him party on that, so I could be like, yeah, we got
All
Mets
right.
loyalty.
I ain't want LeBron either. The way I'm a throny. I'm a throny Game of Thrones. Jalen Brunson is the prince that was promised. If you
Right.
know, you know. And the way I look at it is we have PTSD. Everybody from the 90s, we had to see Phil Jackson, Isaiah Thomas, the way that we got players and now that they're playing their best ball in their careers, we will get players playing their worst. There was a time
Mhm.
where I'm going to use Doug Christie
Yeah.
for example. When we got Doug Christie and he was a Nick, he was straight ass. When we traded him, I think we got him and we sent him to Sacramento, balled out. Complete
Mhm.
opposite. But he wasn't the only player that did it. It just felt like for some reason ain't fit in New York. We will get rid of these players and they will go off. The fact that now it's opposite, the way I like to say it is I'm from Massachusetts. The Red Sox have their curse. The Yankees have their curse. We broke the curse when we let Ewing come back. We broke the curse when they came back. So at this point, I can't hate. I'm a 90s baby. I lived through all that 90s Knicks, the gritty, the fights, all that to now. And just to see the way we went to decline and now we're on our way back up and we're finally getting the recognition. And it's because of the front office is beautiful. You can't ask
Mhm.
for anything better than that.
Yeah, facts, facts. Shout out to my guy I-95 Bully with the 199 super chat. Keep the hate alive, Nikki. Absolutely. Bully, I'm putting you on the spot. Bully, if you're free this Thursday, we're inviting you to join the three of us to talk
Mm-hmm.
Knicks basketball. I'm
You
I'm
have
putting
to.
pressure on you live on air. So Bully, if you're free this Thursday, make sure to pull up. That's if you can. I know you got family and a lot of other obligations. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. My guy Billy says, I don't question God, woman, or Leon Rose. Keep on cooking. Absolutely,
Yo,
Billy.
I love that,
Shout out
Billy.
to my
I
guy
have to
Billy.
tweet
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna
You gotta
quote
put you
you.
gotta put that as a quote. Gotta get that on a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. No, definitely. Listen, we got a few more minutes before the Knicks start. So I just want to say this right now. So far this season, I know we're 20 games in, there's 82 games in a season. So a quarter of the season is already done. We're 12 and 8. December 3rd last year at this time, we were under 500. We had a totally different squad. Like I said, the only person that is still in this starting lineup from last year is Jalen Brunson. And when you talk about that, the front office, when you talk about Leon Rose, I hate to be this person to beat people up while they're down. I know they just won their last game. I'm talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves, but you see the relationship between Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. They cannot stand each other. Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, they hate each other, right? And as a Knicks fan, we've watched Julius Randle over the past few years. You can tell when Julius Randle doesn't mess with a teammate, and you can tell he cannot stand Rudy Gobert. Listen, I wish them all success in Minnesota, but you see a lot of the pundits been coming out saying that the Knicks won the Karl Anthony Towns trade. Julius Randle doesn't fit with Rudy Gobert. He fits better with Jalen Brunson, with the New York Knicks. And when you see what they're trying to build, if Nikola Jokic and Murray were able to win a championship with their pick and roll, why can't Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson with that pick and roll? I think a Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns is a better pick and roll combination than Joker and Murray. No shade to them. I know they won a championship. I know I'm a little bit biased because I'm a Knicks fan. So be it, right? But I like the combination of Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns. Point blank, period. Let's take it to the bank. The Knicks play in 5 minutes. Let's do some prediction. Carla, what's the score for tonight? Who's having the team high? How many points are they scoring? What's your thoughts? And then throw it over to Nikki.
Oh damn, I sucks that number, but I'm not gonna sit here and give you that number because listen. I love the team, but I sucks when it comes to number. I think. Well, I want to say I know we're gonna win. Now, score wise, I don't know, but something is telling me it might be a close game. I think it all depends how we start this game off. I think the way we start this game off, that's how it sets the tone for the rest of the quarters, for the rest, the 4 quarters. Um, I want to see Bridges show out again. I don't know. Ever since I saw him on Sunday play, I'm just like, yo, this is what I need. Yo, you're not doing too much. It's just naturally, yo, okay, I can make the shot. Do it. I want to see him, Cat. Listen, with Jalen, let him chill. If he has it, he has it. Other than that, I don't want to see him force stuff. I don't want us to get sloppy. You get me? I don't want to start panicking like, oh my god, we're not making shots. Yo, guys, let's just have fun. I get it. This Orlando team, they're annoying. I hate them. I don't forget how to play them. I hate them. Like I despise them so badly. You guys don't understand. But I need this whole team to just chill tonight and just be like, yo, if I got it, I got it. Yo, I don't have the next man does. Just yo, keep that ball moving. That's it. Give it to the player who has it, who's hot, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah,
But I also want to see some OG dunks because OG,
Yeah.
yo, he be low key. I think we should put him in a dunk contest. I
I'm
don't.
saying.
Yeah, I don't know, but I want to see that too tonight.
Yeah, no,
But
definitely. Listen. You can tell Carla she doesn't like the Orlando Magic. She probably doesn't like Disneyland and Orlando either, right? So she just
no,
want to see the Knicks
no,
win.
wait, that's a whole different thing. Let's not get that confused. I love my Disney World. Nah, but the Magic, yo, I just hate. I don't know. It's something about that team that every time we play it with them, it's just like, yo, why can we skip them because they just gonna piss me off. Like I feel like tonight I'm gonna definitely be drinking watching that game. They gonna piss me
Well,
off.
make sure you're drinking something nice. Make sure you're drinking something nice tonight. Nikki, what's your thoughts? What's your predictions for the game? Do you have any highs? Who's scoring the team high tonight?
My prediction, I would say point wise, I gotta go Knicks. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a 115 to a 107. We'll go around there. 115, 107 Knicks. Right now, where I'm going to put the emphasis on is on the atmosphere, the home court advantage. Orlando's a young team. This is, it should be a playoff atmosphere. This is a win or go home when it comes to the tournament. The fans are hyped. The players want it. Jalen said he wanted it. Josh said he wanted a new watch. They're going in there with intentions. They're going in there with intentions on winning it. So I'm hoping the fans, everybody go in there with that energy because Orlando's young. A lot of people say MSG is a different atmosphere and a different animal when it comes to the playoffs. This is the baby playoffs. So hopefully we can use that and scare them a little bit. We'll see what happens. Again, I want those Wagners stopped. Stop the Wagners. Defense on the threes. I don't know what it is about white boys shooting threes that they go off. We need to dead that. Like, we can't have that happen.
Facts.
And like, seriously, no. And again, I don't like Orlando. I got to pivot off of Karla because Knicks Twitter, for some reason, makes the Orlando Magic the big bad wolf. They're the monster. They're the team that for some reason we're supposed to be scared of. I'm not scared of them. So we need to go in that game playing like we're not scared of them and like the team we know we are. There shouldn't be a reason that we don't win this. We should be going to Vegas.
Yeah, there's people thinking that Jonathan Isaac is the next coming of like LeBron James and stuff. He still hasn't figured out how to tie his sneakers at the level on the NBA court. But I just got to say, Knicks fans out there, for me, I look for OG Anunoby to have a good game. Like I said, after his career high in Denver, he's been a bit quiet. So I want to see OG Anunoby have a good game. I want to see him cut to the basket. I want to see him knock down some open 3-point shots. But other than that, I just want the team to be healthy. Go out there, have some effort. Like you said, this is the play-in tournament, the baby playoffs, you know. There's some importance to it. I like the fact that they named this in-season tournament the Kobe beating Bryant or whatever they named it after Kobe. You know, shout out to them. But listen, whatever happens, hopefully they can win some money so Josh Hart could get that watch or do whatever you want with your money. Spend some money on some Knick merch that's out there. But Knick fans in the chat, make sure you guys go enjoy the game. Have a good time. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you tune in this Thursday. We're going to have another episode this Thursday before the game. But until next time, subscribe to Uptown Sports TV. Subscribe to Knicks and Fuego. Help us out. Share us on all social media platforms. I'm your guy, Hector. This is
Skills. Wait, that way.
Nikki.
And until next time, this is Knicks and Fuego. Make
Bye,
sure you drink
guys.
some water. Say something positive about yourself. Deuces.
Bye.
Tá presente, oggi sasso.
Putaria, sanungueo.
Brujos out in the night, paying it for it and it don't matter the price. Boom boom more than now, here moving so right. Get it shaking tonight, dama todo rulay. If you know me, then you know that I would never deny. Tengo mi terio and I will show you tonight. So the putaria has my future so bright, bringing it to the light. Un foqueo rulay. Said this tape is not for ignorant babosos. Steady rep that 718. Melting hot that done made me famoso. That's from New York City, el verdadero sancocho. Invoco al un gumbale yo. Me monto y me da la hinchazón. Spitting out, que venta.